What is up, YouTube? This is DBZ439 coming at you with another deck profile. This time it's Salamangreat. Obviously, you guys know that the new ban list dropped in July, and obviously this deck took two big hits, mainly Gazelle and Salamangreat Circle. But even then, the deck is still really resilient. I mean, if Gazelle got banned, the deck, I wouldn't say it would be unplayable, but like that would be a huge hit. But the fact that we still have Gazelle, you can still access it through a number of ways, like Silent Mining or Mirage Stalio, and as long as you could do that, I mean, the deck pretty much what it did before, except now it's a little less consistent. I definitely think it's still one of the best decks of the format, but the main thing is you have to max on Silent Mining due to Circle being hit. But regardless, this deck is still really good going first or second. You just run a boatload of hand traps, and you're pretty much set regardless if you win the die roll or not. And to be honest, you just need two cards to pop off. But without any further ado, let's get onto the deck profile, starting with the main deck. Obviously, you have to play the one Gazelle. It's mandatory. It dumps, any Salamangreat card, spell, trap, or monster, and it can special summon itself from the hand whenever a Salamangreat gets sent to grave, so that's insane. I personally think maxing on 3 spinny is necessary now, just because you want to get into Mirage Stalio as quickly as possible. And it's just a really good pitch target. You have so much cards that need pitching, like Silent Mining or Foxy. And obviously can pitch itself, but having this as pitch fodder is you don't neg, so it's fantastic in the grave. Again, another card that you have to max on, in my opinion, for the Salamangreat is the Foxy. It helps you excavate from top of the deck, so it has that sky base effect, like in Sky Striker, the field spell. But the thing about this card is it's a level 3, so you can rank into Mirage Stalio, or if you don't opt to do that, if you have a good hand to begin with, you can normal it, go into Balinks, and then pitch something and special summon back from the grave, and then go into Stalio play. If you open this in Spinny, you don't excavate. Excavating, you only do it because you can only commit to one of the effects. So personally, I recommend not to excavate. You only excavate if you're desperate. If you didn't open anything else, then you excavate. But if you have something good to pitch, I recommend just going to Balinks with this. But obviously, it depends on the hand. For the one of Sal's, one Jack Jaguar, one Fowl, and one Falco. These are your level 4s. They can help you go into your Dweller. Jack Jaguar obviously is really important because it helps recur from the grave and activate the Sunlight Wolf effect. Foul is good. It's just another extender. It's kind of like a watered down Gazelle because it can special summon itself from hand. But the main problem is it can't go into Stalio. If it was a level 3, I think would have been way better. But the fact it's level 4 is not as great. But I still think it's pretty cool to open it. And then the one Falco, that's for trying to win turns 2 and 3, or just mid to late game where you can dump a fusion of fire or recur your rage or anything like that. Again, it's just another level 4 that helps recur. That helps go into a Dweller, and it can also help recur advantage from grave. So that's insane. That's it for the Salamangreat. For the non-Salamangreat, we want the one Lady Debug, aka Stratos for Sal. The 3 Flame Buffalo. I've seen a lot of people cut it down to 2. But I still think it's a nice card to max on just because if you see it, you can essentially go +2, and you can also chain block Balinks if you need to, unless you draw into the field spell, which sucks. Onto the hand traps. Mandatory the triple Phantasme. This deck obviously you don't want to brick and everyone link summons, so this helps unbrick hands, helps load up field. And the thing about this deck is, like I said, you only need 2 cards to pop off. So just having this in hand just doesn't hurt. It just fixes your hand going second. And then its target effect is also really underrated because, again, if you pitch a Sal card, you're not negging. So definitely a mandatory 3 of. Next for the hand traps, Triple Veiler, insane card. I don't have impermanence, but this pretty much does the job for me. But if I did have impermanence, I'd try to squeeze it in indefinitely. Most Sal decks are standard 15 hand traps. Of course, you have to run the triple Ash Blossom. Being able to recur with Sunlight Wolf is ridiculous. Um, and then the only two of Ogre. I cut the third one for the Thanos, and I've been finding out that obviously Ash and Ogre are both hard ones per turns, but the fact that you can recur the Ash and not the Ogre, I think means that you should. Obviously, Ash is better than Ogre in general, but Ogre it's only a two of because I didn't find the space for the third one, and like it's only uh, useful in certain matchups. Okay, that's it for the monsters, guys. Onto the spell. That was 24 monsters, by the way. Onto the spells. Again, mandatory 3 of Silent Mining. This card, after Circle got hit, you have to max out on. It just gets into Gazelle faster. Essentially, you're running 5 copies of Gazelle if you count Lady Debug. And, oh, actually 6 because you have to include the Circle. So Gazelle, Debug, Circles 3, and then the 3 Silent Mining is another 3. So running 3 of this essentially doubles the amount of potential Gazelles in hand. So that's insane. Next to the 3 of spells is the triple Call by the Grave. Again, you don't want to get hand trapped going first or even second. And it's also good against decks that rely on graveyard. Next for the one of spell cards that only belong to Salad. The one Circle, obviously the rotor of the deck. The one Will, I like Will because it's basically soul charge for the deck. The one Sanctuary, and the one Fusion of Fire. A lot of people sleep on Fusion of Fire. I see a lot more decks cutting it. I think it's just because it's just a win more card. But again, like I just like the card just because it's just a 1-0, so it doesn't really hurt consistency. If you open it, that kind of stinks. But I mean, mostly since it's a 1-0, you can dump it off of Gazelle and then recur it with Falco if you need to, or recur it with Sunlight Wolf. It's just a really good card. Obviously, the one Sanctuary to relink and for Baylinks. That's it for the spells. That is 11 spells for the deck, and then for the last 5 cards are traps. So obviously with the new ban list, we got triple Solemn Judgment back. I really like this card in this deck, in particular, just because obviously it's such a control deck that you can afford to have more traps. And I like this. I mean, I could go for like something like Crackdown, but I just like Judgment because one thing I found out that this deck gets hurt by evenly match a lot, because even if you end up with the Roar, and Rage can't even stop evenly match, but if they bait your Roar, then they can evenly match you, and then you're pretty much you're like 90% going to lose the duel unless you have really good hand advantage. But like if you shotgun the Roar and they have evenly match in hand, it sucks. But having Judgment like is another out to evenly match, and this just in general is really good for control decks because like True Draco or Guru or Altergeist, right? Like if they get hit, they lose a lot to evenly match. But with this at 3 now, like evenly match won't be as big a problem. Obviously, the one Roar and one Rage for the standard Sunlight Gazelle dump, Sunlight Wolf recur combo. That's it for the main deck. Quickly on to the side deck. We run double Pankratops for back row. And the triple Twin Twisters for more back row. Obviously, I think control decks are going to be more relevant in this format. For the traps, the one Order, the triple Evenly Match. Scoot that into frame. Triple Crackdowns. Cards nuts. I mean, like in certain matchups, like especially in the mirror, you take their normal summon, they can't play. And then my tech, that's not really spicy, but it's goes in match. I could run like anti-spell or some other floodgate, but I just feel with more control decks, like this hurts Pendulums, Ultrageist, Sky Strikers, even Thunder Dragon. If they summon like one of their Crusadia monsters and you flip this, they can't play. I know mostly like Dangerous Thunder Dragon are like light and dark, so they can kind of get around it. But like if they try to go through like their Crusadia combo and you drop this on them, they lose. So I really like goes a match. That's it for the side. Onto the extra. The one Violet Chimera, because obviously I run the Fusion of Fire. Some people, I don't run Super Poly, but Fusion of Fire is the way I get into him. For the Xyz monsters, one Dweller and the double Stalio. I know really good Salad players. They can like live with one Stalio because they can recruit off the Jack Jaguar. But just personally in testing, like I found out that like sometimes you won't get the option to recur the Stalio. So you much rather just have the second one just for safekeeping. I think 3 is too much, but I think 2 is okay. 1 is cutting it really close. For the Link Monsters, Double Heat Leo, again, I feel this is correct, as do all the most Salad players. 3 is a little bit too much. And then for the other links, obviously the triple Sunlight Wolf, being able to recur stuff from grave is insane. The triple Bay links, again, searching field spell, protecting your monsters is really crucial. And then for the last link monsters to round off the extra deck is the one transcode, the one update, and the one ablaze. I know a lot of people are opting for Borload and Nightmare Phoenix, but I personally just like the transcode update jammer OTK. I feel like you can end games really quickly. The only thing is, if you commit through Mirage Stalio, this is not a viable option to OTK. But I found out a lot of times if you set up your turn 1 board and they can't really set up their board, you can just really quickly end games with Transcode Talker Update Jammer. Again, one of the hardest parts about playing Salad is like the follow-up plays, and I feel like Update Jammer Transcode Talker is such an easy follow-up play that you can't really misplay with that. But again, like I'm not running the Borload or the Phoenix, which kind of stinks if in those certain situations where I need to out a Colossus or need to get rid of some annoying floodgate, like there can only be one. I don't have that option, but I just personally like transcode into Update Jammer. Alright guys, that's it for the deck profile. I really hope you guys enjoyed that. Please let me know what you think about the deck profile in the comments below. I really love to hear your guys' comments. If you really like the video, hit the like and subscribe button, and have a really nice day.